watching This Is Now. We begin with this new at noon. A Hawaii Island child psychologist who admitted to sexually assaulting a teen patient was sentenced to 20 years behind bars. Ruben Lela pleaded guilty to sexually assaulting a 14-year-old patient. A judge today sentenced Lela to two 10-year sentences to be served back-to-back. Meanwhile, he also confessed to committing sex crimes against other underage patients, and Hawaii Island police have confirmed they are investigating additional cases against him. The psychologist saw children over nearly 2 decades at his practice, known as the Loving Service Foundation. At last check, his license is still active. Also, just in, Governor Josh Green announced the retirement of Major General Kenneth Hara. Hara is the Adjutant General for the state, commander of the Hawaii National Guard, and director of the Hawaii Emergency Management Agency. He served as the state's incident commander for the COVID pandemic response and the response to the Maui wildfire disaster. He will resign on October 1st and retire from the military on November 1st after 40 years of military service. Brigadier General Stephen Logan has been named to succeed Hara. And on Hawaii Island, a missing persons case continues, and now police are investigating the death of a man at Hawaiian Paradise Park. Police were executing a search warrant yesterday afternoon in the process of trying to find 38-year-old Ashley Karigian. She's been missing since last Tuesday, but when officers identified themselves at a home on 15th Avenue in Kea'au, they heard a loud pop. They then cordoned off the area and told nearby residents to stay inside.
A special response team cleared the residence, and while doing so, they located the deceased body of a male individual. There was one firearm recovered from within the residence, and the identification is being withheld at this time pending positive identification.
Police say it appears the man shot himself. Meanwhile, Karigian was not at the home, and they are still asking the public for help finding her. She's 5'5", 125 pounds with brown hair and eyes. Call the number on your screen with any tips. Police arrested a 23-year-old woman for attempted murder after an early morning stabbing in Aiea. We broke this story for you yesterday. HPD says Zianen Frio used a dangerous object to seriously injure a 22-year-old man she was arguing with on Lipoa Place. The victim is in stable condition. Waimanalo attempted murder suspect Paul Hodges was rebooked at the Sheriff's Division in Kaka'ako yesterday. It came as he was indicted for an alleged rampage targeting his girlfriend last week. Hodges is back at OCCC now, with bail set at $1 million. After a brief closure yesterday, the Kapolei Courthouse will reopen today. It was due to a water outage in the area. We're told service has been restored. Documents with a filing deadline of May 23rd were extended, and hearings were rescheduled to the next available date. A public corruption trial of former city officials has been pushed back from October to March because one of the attorneys involved is busy with another case. Former Corporation Counsel Donna Leong, former Managing Director Roy Amamiya, and former Police Commission Chair Max Sword are accused of conspiring to give a $250,000 retirement payout to former Police Chief Louis Kealoha, even though he was under federal investigation.
You're going to have the argument made by the defense, this is the way we've done it in the past. This is the way we did it this time. There was no illegal intent.
This will be the third and final trial for the special prosecution team, which just last week failed to convict former city prosecutor Keith Kaneshiro and campaign donors of bribery. Policy cancellations and sticker shock. Hawaii residents are grappling with big changes in their property insurance. Annalisa Burgos takes a look at some of the causes and why it could be years before prices come down.
Last month, Kaneohe homeowner Carol Fahey got an email from her insurance agent saying,
DB Insurance is adapting to the evolving insurance market, and as a result, the hurricane coverage in your policy will not be renewed.
She was able to get coverage from another carrier, but now pays $500 more per year.
It's not fun when these numbers keep going up.
Fahey isn't the only one. Homeowners and agents tell H&N insurance premiums have shot up by as much as tens of thousands of dollars each year, from single-family homes to condos where HOAs are charging special assessments. They're getting notices that say your insurance will expire and will not be renewed, Or, we will not be renewing this policy due to a change in underwriting guidelines and high exposure to a fire hazard, leaving folks scrambling to secure a new policy or risk losing their home. It's even worse on Maui, where primary carriers are leaving the market.
For years, insurance companies have been collecting these premiums without any losses. And it goes in this big kitty. And every time there's a disaster, the kitty tips. Some comes out, goes back up, they're able to refill it. Well, the disasters have not given any relief these past 3 years alone.
Lahaina-based independent insurance broker Mahealani Strong says many factors are fueling the state's insurance crisis.
Inflation was already bringing it up. Now you have the catastrophic losses nationwide. And now, because they've undercharged for insurance, we've got an empty kitty.
Undercharging, meaning most home buyers only bought the bare minimum of insurance to satisfy their mortgage requirement. Now carriers are reevaluating risks and raising rates to offset as much as $100 million in losses it's seen in 4 of the past 5 years. In one extreme case, an $800 condo policy is now $8,000 a year.
I don't think the carriers are out there trying to gouge the market. I don't think that we're seeing that. I think that the carriers are trying to balance out their constant losses.
How would you advise people now, to look at their policies and to really kind of understand what's happening right now?
Never take the advice of a bank telling you how much coverage you should have. Rely on a contractor that you might know to give you a really good estimate of where your property value should be. Have a conversation with your agent.
In a statement to H&N, the Hawaii Insurance Division wrote it's considering expanding the Hawaii Property Insurance Association and restarting the state-managed Hawaii Hurricane Relief Fund. Strong urges the state to remove red tape to ensure people don't lose their homes. She says it could take a decade before rates come back down.
Brace for impact. Hope that it's a slap instead of a punch, but it's coming. It's coming.
Annalisa Burgos, Hawaii News Now.
West Maui teachers are asking the Board of Education for more support as they recover from the August wildfires. The teachers union brought several educators to Thursday's BOE meeting to voice their concerns about staffing, pay, and mental health support.
It's very disheartening. It's frustrating. It's very saddening because our requests are solely because we want to do and be everything we can for the students.
We need real people who understand trauma to come in and help because it is the whole West Side community.
The department will immediately follow up with the schools and agencies who have not been able to provide services so that we can ensure that all students and adults receive the support that they need.
Superintendent Keith Hayashi says the BOE is also looking at raising the pay differential for West Maui teachers in areas with a shortage of educators. A survey on Kauai County's approval ratings includes a controversial question about the embattled Coco Palms Resort. Ben Gutierrez has both sides.
The survey of 1,100 registered Kauai voters was commissioned by the latest developer to take on the Coco Palms project and conducted by longtime local firm SMS Research. It shows support for a new resort there, but opponents are skeptical. 31 years after Wailua's Coco Palms Resort was wrecked by Hurricane Iniki, the Utah-based company Reef Capital Partners plans to spend $400 million rebuilding it. The company's survey found 61% want the new development and 24% want to keep the property in its current condition. Fern Holland of the group Iola Wailua Nui says the question should have offered another option.
Creating an alternative for this site to develop and implement a vision for this incredibly sacred space to create a restored cultural site, an agricultural park, and community space instead of a hotel.
In a statement, the developer said its efforts are being recognized by a vast majority and that it shouldn't be deterred by a vocal minority. Holland says that's also not fair.
There have been thousands of signatures on our change.org petition over the last few years against the hotel at this site. There's been hundreds and hundreds of opposition testimony.
I have my own personal thoughts, but the challenge is these folks have entitlements to give it a go.
Kauai Mayor Derek Kawakami says the demolition has already begun, and so far, the developer is keeping its promises. After last month's flooding, the community is watching to see if the hotel is built above modern flood elevations, which its permit requires.
I've seen no additional protections put into place to prevent any future drainage from that property from entering the river in the sort of way that it did before.
Mayor Kawakami says if this development ultimately falls through like all the others, then he'll get serious about Plan B.
We should be really looking at what recourse we have as a county to just say, hey, these groups gave it a shot, didn't make it happen. It's time to take a look at returning this property to its natural state.
There were other questions on the survey. Half of its respondents said the Garden economy is fair. Only 2% said it was excellent. The two most important issues were the lack of affordable housing and the high cost of living. And about half of those surveyed had very little to no confidence in the county government to solve problems.
I don't disagree with them. And if the expectation is for the county to solve every problem, if I had that expectation, I'd have very little to no confidence as well.
Now, if all goes according to plan, Reef Capital Partners plans to have the new hotel open by 2026. Ben Gutierrez, Hawaii News Now.
Every day, billions of people log onto social media on their phones, their computers, and other devices. It helps connect us, it keeps us up to date on the latest news and trends, but there's also a dark side. Lee Waldman has a look at the potentially dangerous trends and what parents can do to keep their kids safe.
One of them held my hand. I already knew.
It's been over a year since Norma Nazario's 15-year-old son Zachary died while subway surfing, riding on top of a moving train. New York's Metro Transit Authority says between 2018 and 2023, at least 10 suspected subway surfers were killed.
He was like, oh, look, I tried doing this. It's in TikTok challenge, one of the challenges. That's how it started.
Subway surfing isn't the only dangerous trend on social media. A Massachusetts teen died after participating in the One Chip Challenge in 2023. And in 2021, a 9-year-old girl from Milwaukee died after taking part in the Blackout Challenge. While not every trend is deadly, some, like drinking blackout rage gallons or Borgs, encourage risky behavior.
Because of social media and how fast this information can get around, it's just the younger people are so much more susceptible to it.
The American Psychological Association explains social media can be especially harmful to teens because, quote, adolescence is a period of heightened susceptibility to peer influence and impressionability. Following her son's death, Nazario filed a lawsuit against TikTok, its parent company ByteDance, Meta, and the MTA. She also started advocating for legal changes to social media regulations, so another child like her son won't lose their life to a dangerous trend.
That's what we're trying to do.
Memorial Day marks the unofficial start to summer, but it's more than just cookouts and family gatherings. It's really a time for remembering. Erica Brown is on the National Mall in Washington, D.C. with more details.
With millions of Americans now on the road or preparing for cookouts, some are working to ensure the reason we observe Memorial Day is not forgotten.
We are remembering and honoring those who gave their life for our country.
A special display has returned to the National Mall, a poppy wall honoring the 600,000 U.S. service members who gave their lives in service to the country since World War I. What's the significance of the poppy flower?
So the poppy, it is the international symbol of remembrance. Its origins go back to 1915 during World War I.
The numbers on these walls represent the servicemen and women who died fighting in America's wars, and this one takes many people by surprise. More than 7,000 servicemen and women killed since 2001, the start of the global war on terror.
It's such a massive number, it's hard to imagine all those people and their families and their friends and the loss that they've sacrificed for our country.
Congratulations, ensigns and second lieutenants.
Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin delivered the commencement address at the Naval Academy Friday.
This is a great day and a proud day, but it's also a day of reflection and remembrance.
Austin reminded the new ensigns and second lieutenants the war on terror is ongoing, with the USS Carney just back from the Middle East, where it shot down drones and missiles aimed at civilian ships in Israel.
The Carney conducted 51 engagements in 6 months, which is the most direct Navy engagements with a foe since World War II.
This year's class leaves the academy knowing some of their own may make the ultimate sacrifice. Erica Brown, CBS News, Washington.
What a beautiful Aloha Friday it is. 79 degrees in Honolulu. Guys, going to have your full forecast after this break.
How's it on this Friday? The pleasant conditions that we've been enjoying are expected to continue through the weekend into the first part of next week. There are a couple disturbances off to the west and northwest, but they will not bring in much rain, although some high clouds are peeling off from those systems. So from time to time today, it could be a little bit cloudy, but as you can see, rainfall will be minimal, limited to a few windward and mucus showers. And those winds will be picking up speed. They'll be running at breezy levels today. We're talking 15 to 25 miles an hour. All in all, making things pretty pleasant. Humidity levels will be comfortable. Air quality is going to be good, although, like I said, it will be a little bit cloudy from time to time today through the weekend. And as far as the surf, it still will be elevated on the east shore because of the breezy winds and that trade wind swell. Otherwise, no significant swells are coming in anytime soon. Going to be pretty small. So your 7-day forecast shows pleasant conditions for a while. We've got these breezy trade winds into the first part of next week, and the rainfall will be minimal, not totally dry. We'll have those overnight and early morning windward and mucus showers, drier for leeward sides, and that's exactly what we'll see for the Memorial Day holiday.
Hey, happy Aloha Friday, everyone. Davis and Kyle in the Digital Center with your weekly sports update.
Yeah, that was
Kyle,
smooth.
That was pretty smooth.
That was nice. That was nice.
They can't stop winning, and we're talking about UH baseball.
That's
Kyle,
right.
Cal State Fullerton, they won last night, and they play them for the rest of the weekend.
Yep, 10-2. It is their final series of the regular season. Senior weekend, lots at stake. And, they've won the last 16 the last 15, the 16th in their last 18 games. So they're on a hot streak right now. And, they're trying to make that case to be an at-large bid for the NCAA tournament. They have a good shot at this if they decide to keep winning, which they have been. They were early on in this game last night. They were tied 2-2, and then big-time play at the plate by Itsuke Takamoto, who got the scoring going ultimately resulting in a 10-2 win over the Titans. And they play again tonight at the Les. So, this team just keeps rolling.
Kyle, you've been covering them all week long, nonstop. What's the secret to their success, you think?
You know what it is? It's like they might have like those superstars, but they really all play as one. They don't have that one guy that they need to be like, watch out for this guy. And also, too, their pitching staff as a whole, they have a nation's best, top 5, nation's 5th best ERA in the country. So this pitching staff is throwing gas, as the kids say, and, the defense is doing its thing. And then at the plate, they're scoring in bunches. They scored 6 runs in 1 inning.
Wow.
So they're going in bunches. It's not overtime. They just explode at one point, and then that's how they get them.
One thing I want to throw in there that is exciting, got to talk about Caitlin Clark really fast.
Yes.
Got to talk about her superstar basketball player. She just got a big endorsement deal with Wilson, everyone. Check out this footage right now of the ball. Guys, It is crazy. Signature ball will be gold and white with personal engravings of the Indiana Fever star. Now get this, the only other athlete to be a brand ambassador for Wilson was Michael Jordan in the 1980s. The initial rollout will highlight some of Clark's historic accomplishments, including breaking the all-time NCAA scoring record. Just got to throw it out there. She has been having huge success recently with the team. Just got to give a props to her.
Yeah, the GOAT. And, she's just putting a lot of eyes on the WNBA, more than, in recent history. So that's super cool.
All right, and talking about sharpshooting, we are going to be shooting at the Les all weekend long. So make sure to check it out. Make sure to check out our podcast, HNN Overtime, for all your latest sports news. Make sure to follow up on Kyle's reports all week long, all weekend long. For Kyle and I, have a happy Friday.
A new era in college sports may be here soon after a landmark agreement was made last night between the NCAA and the most powerful conferences. Bradley Blackburn has more.
When college athletes take the field in the fall of 2025, many of them could be getting paid to play.
A new model, revolutionary model in college athletics for schools to directly share revenue.
The NCAA and its 5 power conferences reached an antitrust settlement Thursday night, creating a system that allows each Division I school to budget up to $21 million a year to pay all their student athletes, both men and women. It also includes nearly $2.8 billion to be paid out to former athletes who sued over the use of their name, image, and likeness.
Even though people thought this case was going to settle, it's still kind of a monumentous occasion in college sports.
Midwinter is a college sports attorney.
With this decision, is there any difference between professional sports and college sports?
In my opinion, not really. The main difference between pro sports and college sports now and moving forward is college athletes are still going to class.
A judge still has to approve the agreement, and many aspects of it are yet to be worked out, especially how the pot will be divided.
It's a huge question those in college athletics are asking. Do you have to split these payments evenly? We don't really know.
For now, schools will have discretion on how to distribute payments to players who could have agents negotiating for them. A game changer in the world of college sports. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News.
When our guy Hoggy isn't giving you the latest weather conditions on HNN, you can catch him on Cheap Beats or The Surf Report. Well, now he has a new project you won't want to miss, a podcast called Upfront with Guy Hoggy. The idea is simple. Guy jumps behind the wheel of our HNN weather vehicle and picks up a Hawaii celebrity for a conversation you won't want to miss. The first episode just dropped, and it features the one and only Passion Santos, social media star and Hawaii comedian. Here's a preview.
Passion Santos, welcome to Upfront.
Thanks for the ride.
Yeah. How you like my Toyota 4Runner? Pretty cool there, first alert weather vehicle.
Cherry.
I know, cherry.
Can go holo holo with Guy Hoggy no matter the weather in this car.
I get a feeling like when I'm hanging out with you, I'm gonna talk like more pigeon than I normally talk.
When I hang out with me, I talk more pigeon. We were just making fun out of everyday stuff that our moms would make us do, or our dads, or just things that we'd run into, and then people started to relate to it. And I think that's where it blew up, because people were relating to the comedy. I have a whole bunch of different characters. Some are completely whimsical and made up, and then others are like real life, what happened. And it's just trying to adapt whether or not I should put this content into a skit, or should I just do a story time, or should I make it really Moken into a character. I learned as I went, and I think that that's a great tip for anybody that wants to get into it, is to just do it and learn as you go.
Find Upfront with Guy Hoggy at hawaiinewsnow.com or wherever you get your podcasts. We love passion here. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great Happy Aloha Friday, and more news coming at you first at 4 right here on KHNL.